Welcome out, everyone, to an awesome matchup tonight between Krusty Krab and squirtyay. This is the lower bracket finals, semifinals, whatever you want to call it. And, well, we've got a special treat today because we've got a couple of players that are going to be joining us in the co-casting booth. My name is Voxday. Joining me is Zagron. And on analysis is Alto. How are you doing?
I'm doing good today. Excited to cast this lower bracket match. We got Krusty Krab and squirtyay. Krusty Krab coming off a tough 0-2 loss against MCM, so they're gonna want to get back to that grand final, and we're gonna see what they pull out to get there.
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. Haven't spent much time broadcasting so far this season, but glad to be catching up for it towards the end. And yeah, I'm with Zag. I think going into the season, Krusty Krab seemed the obvious favorites, and I mean they've definitely had some roster shakeups over the past few weeks that can guarantee you were talked about last week, but we'll probably want to bring up again. And I don't think they're going to be as strong as they were during the regular season. So squirtyay, who didn't do too well against them, during the regular season matchup, might have a little bit more of a shot this time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I also just quick shout out, of course, because I forgot, which I should never do. Behind the scenes is Dolphin. I think he was actually going to murder me if I didn't. Please send help. I'm currently being held against my will. But
Those small bits of validation are what he survives off of.
So we do have a different Krusty Krab roster that lost to MCM. Like you said, they came in as the favorites throughout the season and the playoffs as well. So now they're here in this lower bracket game. And I guess the question that we're going to wait to see over the next couple hours, have they fallen far enough that means squirtyay could potentially topple them?
Yeah, and keep in mind there is money on the line in this match. Getting second place greatly increases your prize pool cut. So when these teams are going to need to do everything they can to get a larger chunk of that and a shot at MCM, they're going to have to pull out everything, all the stops. squirtyay is going to be prepared for this. Krusty Krab, they're going to know what mistakes they made last week. And I think the map picks are a big indicator that they really do know what their strengths are.
Yeah, and getting into that, I believe what is our picks this time? We have Upward, Lakeside, and Asheville, I believe it was.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think we have exact info on who banned what, but we should be able to assume that as the higher seed, Krusty Krab would have picked Asheville and Upward, with squirtyay picking Lakeside. So I think we should address the elephant in the room here, right, before we start talking about the map picks, and that is going to be Demento on Sniper for Krusty Krab. He is not a bad player on Sniper at all. He's been playing it in Pugs for a long time, but compared to the other Invite Sniper mains, I just don't think he has the experience and arguably the raw aim to compete, on a level that someone like Boar or Watterson or even Percy will see might be able to bring. So probably Krusty Krab's main thing here was, how they can either minimize the difference here or play to their other strengths.
No, that's definitely a good point, and it seems based off of that map choice of Lakeside, it seems like they're trying to play into the fact that they have the sniper advantage coming into this one. I mean, it's something that we're probably going to see throughout the night because Percy has really made a name as one of the better snipers in the division. Of course, now coming in as one of the top 3 teams, you expect Percy to get it done, having really good games against people like Watterson as well, that who you mentioned earlier. So it's going to be the battle we're going to keep an eye on. And although I expect it to go in Percy's favor, it just seems like the individual pieces of Krusty Krab have to be better than the sum of the parts of squirtyay based on what we've seen. Right? That has to be true. I'm trying to convince myself of it.
And speaking of those individual pieces on Krusty Krab, we can run down the rosters here real quick. On Krusty Krab, starting in this game, we're going to have Syath on Scout, JJ Slim on Soldier, Billy Saurus on Pyro, Jarrett on Demo Man, Kresnik on Heavy, Exa on Engineer, Blake on Medic, Demento on Sniper, and Vizzy on Spy.
And then on squirtyay, Sandblast going to be on Scout, Gel on Soldier, Figsy on Pyro, Art Suspanian on Demo, Sand on Heavy, Peren on Engineer, Ray on Medic, Percy on Sniper, and Hino on Spy.
And I guess looking at those rosters, and I'll pose this question to either one of you. I mean, we just talked about the sniper matchup. What do you think about the other? Are there any other players or specific matchups you're looking for? I guess we'll focus more on Upward since that's coming up first. Like, what's the player matchup that you're looking for on this map specifically?
I think Jarrett versus Arts is going to be a big one because every time I've seen Arts play a playoff match in the past This season run, which I've casted a couple of his, he's gotten outperformed quite heavily by the enemy Delman, whether it's Jarrett or Right Justify. He just hasn't been up to par. The Squirtyay are going to need arts to be on point today if they want to take ground on these maps. Upward, a very combo focused map where you do need to be good at pushing together, and if he can't get that damage down, can't trap people in with stickies, and isn't doing a good job at leading his pushes, then Squirtyay are going to get left in the dust.
I'm looking. Oh my god! I don't know if you can see. Yeah, Dolphin's got this on camera. The incredible Tower of Power happening.
It's
in
beautiful.
pregame. Really nice to see. But I'm gonna be looking at Scythe versus Sandblast, since I think that Sandblast might be one of the only scouts in Invite that can compete with Scythe on at least a DM level. And we mentioned that Lakeside pick because I think that is going to be really important for Squirtyay to come out with if they want to win that. And I think that, Zag already mentioned the demo matchup, right? And the Lakeside really comes down to, I feel like, a lot of the Highlander trifecta of Scout, Soldier, and Demo. Or, excuse me, Scout, Demo, and Sniper. So if you assume that, Jarrett versus Arts might be, a little bit contentious, you assume Percy might edge out Demento, it's really going to come down to that Scout v Scout as that third pillar of who's really going to be controlling a lot of the space. So if Sandblast can show up and keep Scythe contained, I think that Squirtyay is going to have a lot better of a chance tonight than people are giving them credit for.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. And one last thing to shout out, just an individual player, because I love to see Billy Soros back at it. Of course, Krusty Krab have had, I think, a couple different pyros, mainly using Oblivion for the most part of the season. And come playoff time, Billy Soros has rejoined the roster. I love watching Billy play. I'm excited to see, because he's played with these players plenty before, so fitting in to that system and everything should be pretty cut and dry. But I don't know. I guess Billy Soros has played pretty recently, but I always like to see some of the old names come back and just like give it another hurrah,
Yeah, I'd actually be a bit worried about Billy on in this match tonight because he hasn't really looked like his old self that was, notoriously a very good pyro. A lot of teams prized him very highly. Now it seems like he's just kind of filling in, like you mentioned, for Oblivion. So if he struggles to get back on top tonight, we might see a bit of that combo synergy going downhill for Krusty Krab, which they're gonna need. Jarrett, like I mentioned, Jarrett's gonna have an advantage over Arts. Just coming into this, that's what I'm thinking. So if Billy can't deny Ubers, or if Billy isn't like synergized with his combo, then Krusty Krab, one of the main benefits we think they're going to have, isn't going to be there.
Yeah, I think it comes down a little bit too to that spy matchup. Obviously, with Demento going sniper, we have Vizzy on spy, and the matches I've watched from Vizzy, a really capable spy. So if Billy is maybe a little bit more panicked, like you said, because he's maybe doesn't have the same edge as before, so kind of being drawn in different directions, like, oh, I got to worry about this soldier bombing, and kind of lapses a little bit, not worrying about the spy. I think Vizzy is someone that could potentially punish you for that. So there's
will
a
be
lot
Hino
of
playing
play.
against Billy. He knows the Square A spy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, Hino. But it still tracks. Hino, even more so, I'd say. Hino is a name that I came into the season not really knowing, if I'm being frank. But the numbers that I've seen him put up have been really solid. But I just something to keep an eye out for, because it is like kind of a house of cards right now. Krusty Krab looked to be better, stronger, but if something falls at the bottom, that could just end up bringing an entire map or maybe this match for Squirtyay.
Definitely, yeah. And I think that, again, mentality is something, that thing that we can never see as casters, but really plays into it. And, we don't, I would hope that, tilting isn't going to be a problem, considering, Krusty Krab does have that kind of vintage K&D combo there. But especially when you don't have what you might feel is your best roster with Demento on Sniper, if we see it looks like I'm not sure who's going to be starting on what side here, but if Squirtyay starts on defense and Percy just starts absolutely popping off on first, and that can set the tempo, you can really see that house of cards, which looks so magnificent right now, maybe start to wobble a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And mentioned on Upward, if assuming this is Krusty Krab's pick, Squirtyay do have side select, so they could actually choose that defensive side and try to get Percy going. They probably are aware that that's an advantage that they can try to work towards. And if they do get rolling on that, that could be really big. Keep in mind the maps of Upward, Lakeside, Asheville. We're expecting that squirtyay chose Lakeside, so they're going to need that one. If Krusty Krab can't win on Upward, they're going to be really hard pressed to keep going for the rest of this match.
No, that's a really fair point. That could definitely mean for squirtyay starting off 1-0. Really, I mean, obviously it puts you in a good position no matter what, but just that momentum and coming in as the underdog, if you're able to pick up that map, I think that does go a long way into pulling you into this victory. And it's hard for me to tell if we do get to Asheville, which team will ultimately be favored, because snipers are sort of neutralized on that one, and it really will just come down to that combo play, which I'd expect Krusty Krab again would be better, just because that combo hasn't changed too much. And so the players are still trying to figure out where they want to go and who's taking which side. But I guess predictions maybe for Upward. What are we feeling?
Do you know if this is a best of 3 or BO1?
Should be BO3, I would assume.
Yeah, it has to be. I can't say for sure, but I feel like most teams are opting for the best of 3, especially if there's only one stopwatch in the map list.
I'm going to go Krusty Krab 2-1.
I'm going to go Krusty Krab 2-0, just because I think that it's a more likely than a 2-1. But I definitely, I don't want to say 2-0 to imply that Krusty Krab's going to roll. I expect at least one of these halves is going to be extremely close. And I think that if squirtyay can take one, it's very easy for them to take both.
That's a fair point. I think
I really need to see how well Percy comes out of the gate here.
Yeah, my big thing about the 2-1 prediction for Krusty Krab, I feel like they're going to have one big mistake on Upward, and we know how mistakes can compound on this map. It's one of the shorter payloads in rotation, so if Percy does find that pop-off moment, stalls a Krusty Krab push for 2-3 minutes, then it might be very difficult for Krusty Krab. Sometime, maybe if one of their pushes doesn't go off right, they just don't get a good snowball. I can very easily see Krusty Krab making a big error in one of these rounds, even though they are favored to win the map.
Yeah, and Alto, I think you basically summed up my feelings as well. I'm gonna say 2-1 just for posterity's sake. But I could definitely see it being a 2-0, but not some kind of complete blowout. Expect really kind of close rounds each way for both sides. And like you said, if Percy starts to pop off, especially something third or even last, it comes down to that last ditch push, and Percy's hitting shots and Peren's got her gun up, and it just becomes that impossible wall. There's so many different avenues for squirtyay to win. It's just a matter of, will Krusty Krab make those mistakes, and will they see them and capitalize? And real quick, it looks like players are starting to find their teams, and squirtyay is starting on offense.
Yeah, they will be on that blue side. And if they had the choice, I disagree with this, because setting the pace is always more difficult, especially when you feel like you're going to have a sniper advantage. But if they do come out with some strategy that they have prepared or something that Krusty Krab might not get done, then the pushing team the second time, they feel a lot more pressured. So it's kind of a gamble starting on offense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm in agreement that I don't think starting on offense is generally the best move unless you have some really bizarre strategy that you think might be able to come out and really take them by surprise, which I doubt we'll see at this point in the season. But I do want to just take one last moment to go over something you said, Zag, in that you had a feeling that, I think it was Krusty Krab, you said you can see them making a big mistake, and I feel like that's kind of going to be the name of the game, is, both of these teams maybe can be playing, at their best, maybe Krusty Krab's a little bit better, but I feel like at their kind of average, they may be similar. It's going to be about who makes those mistakes, who lets their med get stabbed out, on a third hold, who drops their demo during an Uber, who lets the pyro air blast someone off the cliff at certain times. And for that, I'm really going to be focusing in on the pyros and heavies to be stopping those spies.
And real quick, are we already paused? Did something happen right off the gate, or is it starting for you
We're
guys?
getting word from our production mammal, production ocean mammal, that our Hispanian is lagging. So
that's a bummer. Yeah, ocean mammal. That's a good way to put it. Not a fish, but Ocean mammal. I like that. Dolphin, have you ever considered changing your name?
We've just received echolocation that Sandblast never joined the server, apparently.
No, he's in the server. He's just still on heavy in spawn. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
There was a
Nice. Good ready up
after the
check.
Tower of Power, there was a Brass Beast conga line moving along third. That I don't think got put on stream, but yes, Sandblast is still AFK.
Did
Amazing.
Sandblast maybe think that that he was sand, and just kind of like some weird way melded brains and thought like, oh yeah, I'm playing heavy tonight, right? That's what's happening. Well, I mean, now that we've gotten sufficiently debated and we expired most of the things that we had to talk about pregame, I guess with you guys had already mentioned it, Krusty Krab starting off on defense. I mean, we have to assume, and maybe the assumption is bad, but maybe squirtyay didn't, or maybe squirtyay was the one that picked this map, and Krusty Krab kind of forewent the double map choice. I don't know, that would also seem really strange to me.
I find that super
Picking
hard to
upward
believe.
into a team largely consisting of K and D players is
Not a
seems
good
like
move.
suicide.
Yeah.
I would now. Granted, picking Lakeside into them too also seems like it's a little bit sketchy,
But you have reasoning and like situation that it's not actually that bad because of their roster swaps.
yeah, if you look at squirtyay's real big power points right now, especially in this matchup, I'd say that they largely lie in Scout and Sniper. And Upward lets you flex Sniper, but it really, really doesn't let you flex Scout. And you'd have to imagine that the experience and teamwork in the squirtyay combo, as we are getting unpaused here, is going to be enough.
And as we do get unpaused, Sandblast is actually still just AFK in spawn. I guess it's not too bad just coming out on offense as Ars
Can't push the
bombs
cart.
in.
It'll be fine.
True, you can't push the cart, but sack wave, or I guess just the sack
Yeah,
player,
the
not finding
sack
too
Arts
much.
Spanian doesn't find anything. Krusticky's getting found out by Gel here, gonna blast some of them away. Sand gets that check. We just see Percy taking the right rock position. Whether or not Demento's gonna peek into him, we'll have to see. That would be a big pick. Demento gonna find the cart pusher, Figsy going down early, as Hino gets the telly, so that will be a good early play for him. So we're gonna have to see if squirtyay opts to push or go for a pressure here.
Yeah, I think squirtyay should find a way to push, although now Gel has to back up, just get a resub or healed up by Medic. As there goes Demento finding the first pick now onto Percy. It's only the first one, but maybe a good sign as the Uber comes out. Yeah, Squirtyay trying to get something done, but that gun is far back. It gets sapped, but I think X is going to save it. Ooh. At the last minute, it goes down.
Yeah, Rocket in the end takes that one down. The counter Uber from Krusty Krab is a lot better. They're going to be pushing people forward. Billy pushing Arts behind that Rocket. Going to get cleaned up by Busy with the revolver, although he did get Kresnik for his trouble. Bomb in from Gel over the top, trying to get that playground control. Finds a bit of damage, but no kills, and it's going to be a bit of a soft reset here.
Well, as Exa continues to try to build that gun up, Gel is doing a good job just keeping rockets into it. I feel like there's good position now for squirtyay in terms of where Gel is. Sandblast is back now too, so we're gonna have a real 9v9.
Demento killbinded just now, so that's a bit unfortunate for the defensive sniper. We do see Uber gonna get popped up for Krusty Krab here. Squirtyay gonna be able to pop in counter. Figsy gonna get dropped, but Jarrett getting sniped down means no demo man. Counter Uber's gonna come in here very shortly.
Have to expect it. Ray, she's a little bit far back. They might actually be trying to hold this Uber because
Krusty
they
Krab
know
should
they're
sack
gonna
for
cap it.
this. They want to get the force here. Busy is looking for it, but he's gonna need a bit of help. No way you can find Ray by yourself. And that will be a saved Uber for the side of squirtyay. So the push took a bit longer, but now they can snowball with this.
Yeah, I guess Vizzy. I think Vizzy just got bumped by Hino, but feeding information, they know that Ray does have 100%. I am a little bit surprised that Krusty Krab doesn't go for it. Yeah, they're really far forward without sacking any members. Demento goes down there, maybe getting a little too over aggressive, but I guess for Krusty Krab, you don't want to bleed the numbers as the Uber comes in.
Yeah, they are going to pop Uber here. Art's going to go in and get the engineer buildings, whereas Hino gets the kill onto JJ. Busy trading back onto Percy means Sniper v Sniper's neutralized. Going to be a lot of ground taken for squirtyay as they push Krusty Krab back, and a lot of kills in. Sand Art's getting a lot of combo cleanup, so that's going to be second. Nearly uncontested. Demento going to get stabbed out. Can't find that medic pick, and really good snowball with that Uber advantage by squirtyay. That was impressive.
Yeah, and now, well, Blake does have 100%, but I'm assuming by the time squirtyay get up close and personal, Ray, she's got to be pretty close to having Uber at that point, although it does look like squirtyay do want to keep the pressure up. It's just Arst alone trying to spam some stickies, so if squirtyay want to go for this early push, they need all the bodies there, but that cart has such a long way to go, so the timing can be really finicky as you're pushing second to third on offense.
Yeah, they don't have Uber yet, so they're fine with just keeping their players on cart, getting some ground. Gonna push up as far as they can before the pop is in. They're at 95%, so Ray almost has. Kino gonna try to go and gets his knife melted, so won't be able to be in for a backstab. Vizzy on cart actually falls to his death, so that's a bit unfortunate. As Demento does win the SBS for it seems like a lot. And here's the Uber in from squirtyay. They need to get the force out, but they can't find Blake.
Art's in the hole.
Oh,
That's and Sand too. Wait, and Vizzy, that's like 4 players that have fallen in the pit so far, and it's only the first round.
Oh, that's not the way you want to see that Uber trade go, and you don't want to see the players falling in the pit. Hino gets a stab, Percy with a headshot. I mean, those are some picks in their favor, but they still have an entire Uber to contend with and a gun if they want to get this point.
Yeah, that said, no sniper, no power means you can walk up here. Figsy gonna WM1 at JJ and get her taken down by Arts. Counter Uber in here from Blake trying to save players. They're trying to get what they can, and they do find Ray. Really good play by Syath to get that cleanup on her and Arts. But the cart is getting pushed up here. Gotta push the first hill, so I'm sure that squirtyay aren't that sad about it, but they still needed to keep their medic alive, and the scout is gonna get cleaned up, and we're gonna be resetting here.
Yeah, at this point for squirtyay, oh my god, how do you fall? Okay, all right, I won't dwell on it. But at this point for squirtyay, you got to make sure someone is touching the cart every once in a while. They still have some time, some good stickies planted down by Jarrett to defend just a little bit. That Sandblast is aware, but things were looking really good for squirtyay, but now they finally hit a solid defense from Krusty Krab. We'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah, JJ going down to that sniper from Percy. He's up top, does exchange shots with Demento. They're both looking for the SBS right now. No buffs on either. Demento trying to get one. It's going to be big, whoever can find this SBS, but the cart is getting pushed up here. Sandblast almost has it up, barely doesn't get it. Gets killed off by that revolver sticky combo. And we will see another reset coming up. Ray at 80% Uber to Blake's 100, so a bit more time to wait. Vizzy's in the backline getting it flamed out by Figsy, nothing doing there. And we'll be getting ready for the push soon, although a lot of damage coming through from side gets a kill, and there's finally the SBS win.
Yeah, Demento goes down. JJ did go in for a pick. Gonna go down a little bit later, but both Ubers are used.
Syath,
that's great. Great job. Syath finds 2 in that as well, so a kind of advantage here for Krusty Krab, although with the fast
the cart
respawns.
can get pushed up a lot easier. We have a soldier and an engineer getting arrow tanked. This should make it all the way up if no one can find this contestant. It looks like it will get there. Gel gonna complete it up the top of the hill, and that should be the backup for Krusty Krab.
Yeah, Exa gonna grab that gun, but Hino is in the back line too. That could be a mess. Exa actually just decides to build a new one, won't worry about it. Upper control already taken from Krusty Krab, so this is good when you're trying to set up on this defense. It means squirtyay aren't gonna be able to take really the most powerful position on last for free.
Yeah, and 6 minutes through third, that's pretty average, honestly. You're happy with that for either team. To be honest, Pren gonna get that melee onto Vizzy. I don't know where that happened, but will be that spied down. 74% for Ray, whereas Blake is 100. We might see Krusty Krab try to take something aggressive. He's dead, so we'll just wait for the super trade to come out. We're gonna have to see where squirtyay decides to take this all like grouped up in main, which is a bit unorthodox.
And I might be lagging just a little bit, so let me know if I'm a robot. Okay, all right. So, well, Sand is coming in looking for some kind of pick. Both Ubers do get used as we come into another pause. Yeah, the STV had lagged for a little bit, and then Zag also did. So I was like, oh, it must be on my end. But Teams pausing as well. I wonder if maybe something, a shockwave was sent through the server.
Yeah, an EMP must have went off when when 9 people get killed by the pit.
In the Chicago data center of tragic servers.
My initial thought is that the pause may have come out after the half finished, which would lend, you'd think, squirtyay to about an 8.5 minute time, but don't want to spend too much time focusing on that. I want to come in here, though, and talk a little bit about what I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, things have been fairly standard, but because again, I talked a lot about Demento and Sniper, and I think it's really interesting how, in terms of the SVS, he has not really been outmatched at all. I mean, defense Sniper is pretty much always going to have the advantage in that regard, but he's easily been, doing fine with the SVSs, but I talked about sniper experience. He's been dying a lot to spies and other kind of random things as the unpause is going through, and it looks like this Uber coming out of Krusty Krab is going to be a successful hold.
I think that's a good point to keep an eye on exactly the plays Demento is making. So maybe the aim is there, but as he just racks up another kill, one onto Figsy. But like that mistake on second going down when kind of a little too far forward. Yeah.
And as we say that, though, he goes down to the counter snipe, and Sand is going to make his way into upper, takes out Kresnik. So upper is firmly in control of squirtyay right now. The rest of the red combo is being forced back out. Billy goes in on card to try to sack it. That gun is still alive right now. Although coming in from boxes, Arts has some really good spam. Gonna go down, but gets the gun as he dies. Exa at only 3 health. Taking out that gun could free up the card to push in.
This is really chaotic right now. I can't really tell who's winning, but I'd have to say with squirtyay's position now holding upper, this is a really good chance for them to get the cart over the finish line. Krusty Krab are going to be playing off the back foot the entire time, unless they have some miraculous Uber trade that goes their way. And speaking of, we've got 100% for both teams, so that should be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, and the Uber's going to come right into main. This is a straight headbutt in that main door right there. Art splitting off, trying to get some spam down. The gun is dead right here. He's on that cart. Bobby in there. Kresnik in the lower spot. Going to take him out, though. Hino down as well. So kills are going largely in the favor of Krusty Krab right now. Percy in upper. Going to be able to take out Demento. If he can get more frags, maybe they'll salvage this, but...
Yeah, so many players down right now for Krusty Krab. I have to assume if squirtyay can keep the respawns and pressure up, because of those long respawn waves on defense, this is going to ultimately go their way. There goes Jarrett into the pit. Syeth, Billy Source, all down.
The kills are coming through.
They're finally getting onto the cart now. Vizzy's going to try one last-ditch effort, but we'll see what the final time is. 9 minutes.
Hello,
Right.
hello.
Hello.
Am I hearable?
I think
You
you're
are.
good.
I'm back from Robot Land. That was a really interesting last push because the teams kept sacking over and over. Shout out to Ray for hitting a nutty surf onto top left and living. Or it wasn't Ray, sorry, it was Blake. Blake hit a great surf that let him stay alive, keep Uber, and keep pace with Ray. So that bought Krusty Krab a lot of time. 9 minutes is slightly better for the defense than the offense on Upward. It's still doable for both sides, but for average time, you're looking at about what? I'd say 7.5 to 8.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So it's a decent spot for squirtyay. If their defense is half as good as their offense was on certain points, and like we mentioned during the pregame, if Percy can pop off, this is totally doable right now for squirtyay. So I'm impressed thus far, but still got a long way to go to see if they can even take this map.
Yeah, and it's Percy's turn now to do the defensive sniper bit, so he will have the advantage on a lot of angles against Demento. Hopefully, for his team's sake, he'll be able to come out on top more often than not, and squirtyay might be able to get this one round, but they have to do it. 9 minutes, definitely doable for Krusty Krab. They're used to this, they can get going on. We'll have to see what their initial play is.
The pause bug really messed with the logs. Jarrett's apparently sitting on 1500 DPM right now.
Insane player, what can you say? Really are outclassing Arts Hispanian, like I mentioned.
Yeah, just reaching new highs of Highlander greatness.
Percy is not taking the SVS at all. Sand got sniped down from player on melee. Now he's trying to look for the angle. Percy's gonna find Billy, and there's Hino finding Demento. So good early trades. Here's the bombing from JJ trying to get the counter on the sniper. Hits one rocket but can't hit the other. Sack from Jarrett's a bit late. Doesn't find what he wants exactly, and that will be a pretty unsuccessful sack. They got Hino. That's about it.
Yeah, and quick run on Percy too. Like you mentioned, not really going for the SBS early. I want to see that change because Percy should know that he has the sniper advantage. As I say that Demento
does he really?
one. Yeah, exactly. But I still want to see Percy play aggressive, play like the better player, because that confidence can mean so much on class like Sniper.
Scythe getting a bunch of damage onto him. Exa is the trade, but here's the Uber in from Krusty Krab. Blake and Jarrett going in. The Uber is much better for the side of squirtyay. They're going to get people air blasting. Bixie's trying to trap Blake in, and Blake is going to be trapped. Gets killed out in the end, but the position for squirtyay isn't necessarily the best. They're going to drop Percy, they're going to drop Sand, and now they drop their gun as well. So they're only 2 players up. They got the medic, but it's just Figsy and Ray. Figsy trying to escort Ray out. Vizzy can't get that revolver shot, and that will be the first point in for Krusty Krab. But the save on Ray's life is going to be big coming in for the second defense.
It's
Demento
big.
got 4 kills there, including the sniper to start that fight off, and the NG to win it during it. So
Wow. Yeah, that's huge. And speaking of the NG, Peren, late respawn, so she's only building a gun now. Which is going to be really easy, I think, for Krusty Krab to just roll over. They've got all this positioning on the cliff.
Great snipe onto Jarrett. Krusty Krab can't do this anymore. They need to get position back. Arts is being left out alone. He needs heals. Kresnik in that side tunnel is doing a lot of damage. He's keeping a lot of position by himself, but he needs help. It's not Jarrett. It's going to be Sayat running in, trying to get some damage, helping Kresnik out. They're trying to get what they can, and they do find Arts and Hino and Percy. Big kills coming in from Demento and Kresnik. All this side tunnel pressure paying off. Here's the spy in, going to backstab Friend. Demento finding one onto Sand as well, and the Uber's forced onto 2 people. They dropped 6. It's a great side pressure from Krusty Krab, flanking all that damage in, and they're going to take third here. Or second, excuse me.
Well, and Ray, she's dead. She's getting pinched right now. Just 9 players on blue side just collapse and take her out, and that's rough. You're in a tough position there when you're Ray, because you're trying to hold on to the Uber, but meanwhile everyone else around you is dying, and it's kind of this sunk cost where eventually you're just gonna have to pop it to save the players that you can, and unfortunately it was just too late.
Kresnik is MVP for that fight. He put so much damage out, put so much distraction from that side tunnel area, completely bought that area for his team, push forward, and they get that. Now Blake's on a 45% Uber advantage. Sandblast gonna take down JJ. Won't do too much as the cart's still getting pushed. Neither team quite has Uber, but the gun hasn't been built up yet. It's only level 1. We're gonna have to see if Peren can get that up before Blake has Uber. It's 85%.
Well, cart does continue to move. Maybe some building would be possible, but I think all players on defense need to just be focused on where the attack's coming from. Demento continuing to show strong form. He's probably spent a lot of time on those SVS servers over this past week. He's really looking good.
Busy's going to be on the gun here. Tries to find the sap, and he does get it with the Uber coming in from Krusty Krab. Ray just got those, so we're going to have to see if they can counter pop. It's going to be onto Sandblast, going to clean up Billy's source. Figsy was the only casualty as Vizzy, Exa, and Billy have gone down. A cart collapse coming in. JJ going to go down. Demento's going for a bit of a shithouse play. Gets seen out. Sandblast going to get that 5k. And really big counter Uber from squirtyay. Kept all their players alive, except for Figsy. But that's the Pyro's job to die on those, so really good play.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, one thing to mention, Kresnik is still hanging out here in Shithouse, and just biding his time, waiting for the play.
Can't hear him.
It's beautiful. I'm going to keep an eye out for that. Maybe waiting for players to get in a different position. Comes and starts peeking out now, starts putting out a lot of damage. Just kind of like his side tunnel play on second.
Archie needs a pipe. He has to back up and get healed, so there's a lot of space for Krusty Krab to move. Sandblast, he's going to find Kresnik, and Kresnik going to win that one. So that's going to go up. And then a blind pipe from Jarrett over the top. Hits Arts' span and gets some taste of his own medicine. Going to get taken down. Now it's Vizzy. Going to look to decloak on the gun or get something done, but that's a numbers advantage for the side of Krusty Krab. Squirtyay down Sniper and Demo. That's a lot to deal with, as now position is held by Krusty Krab. Gun going to go down. Uber popped out. They need to force Blake and get out safely here. There's the Uber coming in from Blake. It's all about what kills get cleaned up here.
Figsy doing the best she can, trying to air blast people off and slow the push down. I kind of wonder though, if you're squirtyay, do you think about just setting up on last at this point? I mean, this card's gonna get capped, and you don't want to risk everyone going down.
Well, they clearly don't want to, because they're going to keep contesting this. The cart's almost there. They need to stop it, and Exa does go down to a cleaver. That cart is almost capped, and they need to keep it off the hill or back out. And of course, we have a pause now. Why wouldn't we? Sandblast is 1 HP defending a cart about to get capped in. But
as soon as the voices start to go up and the hype starts to build, yeah, here comes the pause. Well, it'll definitely be some chaos right afterwards. But while we have a couple of seconds, Alto, anything to chime in with?
It's really hard to kind of tell exactly what's going on here, other than the fact that the one thing I really noticed there was, again, those really good denials by Figsy, just stopping that cart time, especially right at the end there. I almost want to say Billy may have been able to get the cart up the ramp a few seconds earlier, but ultimately walked a little bit too far forward off of it to try to, counter deny her from getting onto the cart, and that let it roll back down. So we'll see, depending on how this last kind of minute defense goes, if that's going to change anything. But really, I think the biggest story here has just been Demento constantly finding picks for his team to push off of.
Yeah, it's really impressive just to come in after, a tough loss. Waterson is probably, I don't think it's controversial to say, probably the better sniper versus Percy, although that gap is probably closing. So maybe Demento just had a more difficult time against Waterson, and really the whole of MCM is a team that's not going to let you get away with as much. But at this point, you know, if you're squirtyay, how much longer do you stay here on third? Because that card is about to get capped. Sandblast should be going down.
Yeah, the
in
sticky's
mere
going to take him
seconds.
down, floating above
Yeah.
the card if we can get a shot about that one. Sandblast is currently staring at his life ending right now.
So yeah, I
With
have
him
to
down,
imagine
it's going to be all about what Square decide to do. They have a demo man getting tanked, they have their sniper, and all of the Krusty Krab players are coming from the ramp. No one's coming from tracks, no one coming from shithouse. So if they decide to full commit for the defense, everyone needs to swing out here and try to deny these players. If we see that they don't do that and they retreat, then that's their decision, right? And at this point, I don't, because the clock keeps ticking in pauses. I do believe it was like what, 3.5 to 3 minutes left on the clock.
Closer to 4, I think.
Yeah, so
as
that's
the
still
pause
a
started.
lot of time. You have to be really confident in your fourth defense to get set up, especially because you won't have a gun and you won't have Uber advantage. So it's really Square, you need to make a key decision here. And granted, this is in the future, so they've already made this decision, but it's going to be important. This right here is probably going to decide what happens for the rest of this round.
Yeah, I'm very much a fan of kind of staying here with that much time left on the clock.
Yeah, I think they need to commit here.
If you have like 2 minutes, a minute and a half left, that's when maybe you can call, all right, let's not risk throwing this. But with 4 minutes, you got to figure that you, especially against a team that's probably better than you on paper, you really need to milk every minute that you can, every second that you can get. And I mean, oh, here comes the unpause.
He lives!
Gonna
live! And there's
no,
the
no,
swing.
no, no.
Arts and Percy get the kills. That's exactly what they needed to do. They swung out wide and got kills. Arts very low. Gonna stay alive, and Percy finds Blake on the back out. squirtyay make the aggressive play that we were talking about, and they are still holding this point. Ooh, Percy even wanted the Syad.
the sandblast death.
If this cart can roll down the hill, that is so big. Gel's standing on it. It's about to roll back.
Oh man, yeah, the perfect swing out, like you called. Here comes the cart moving back. Can Gel?
So it's trying to ham him. Don't leave the cart. Don't let the cart, Gel. It does get tapped by JJ, so it's gonna stop moving backwards. Krusty Krab is recommitting. They want this push now. Figsy walking for try air blast. Extra goes off the cliff, and Figsy gets blasted back, so she's gonna live. Ray gonna go down though, so that's no medic. Demento finding that pick, crucial. Busy gets one with the sand, so the combo of squirtyay is gone and dusted. It's gonna be a hard reset for them. Blake, 60% Uber to work with, and this push is snowballing into last.
That is the risk you run. And look, squirtyay played that so well. I don't want to take it away and say, oh, they made the wrong choice. But there's Demento finding a clutch pick as, now Percy wants to respond in kind. But Demento finds the clutch pick, and this is going to be really hard to defend because you don't have upper control. Figsy is, I guess, trying to hold it down, and looks like the commitment lower from the rest of the combos. So I think squirtyay are still going to end up upper, although they're going to be a huge 70% dissatis. That's coming up right now.
And here's the Uber in. They're going to catch Sandat on the rotation. He cannot get out. His fat, heavy body just weighs him down. Percy finding Billy on the cart on a 7k, and he's still behind the crates up here, so a lot of damage coming in. Figsy reflect piping Jarrett. That's super big. Demento finds the defensive NG, though. That gun's going to get spammed down. Some rockets in. Sandblast is fighting in main, but can't quite find it. Percy, 8, 9, make it. Onto Demento and Syed. He's single-handed left his head. Krusty going down. Finally, the bomb in from JJ. Gonna end his reign of terror, and that's going to be a lot of people in for Krusty Krab. Not enough has been done quite yet. Ray on 90% Uber as they need to get this and pop on the cart.
Oh my god, this is such a cluster. Percy trying to put the team on his back, but SK.
Billy needs to get off it, and they get him off just in time. The Uber's in. They're finding cleanup. Jarrett going down. Busy going down, and they have the cart back down off of this lip. Right now, Krusty Krab are resetting in main. Art's gonna get sniped by Demento. Big pick on the Demo Man. Spy dropping down, can't quite find the picks, and it's going to be a bit of a clusterfuck coming in here. 95% for Blake. They're gonna keep rushing in. 55 seconds left.
This is just wild. I can't believe for Krusty Krab that this is coming down to the wire. It looked like they had it, but here comes their Uber in response. They're finding really not much. Demento finds a shot, but they've got players on the card.
There it is, Figsy and Sand getting picks, but Busy trading back 2 onto Sand and Ray. It's just Sandblast on cart right now. He's gonna knock people into the pit. JJ raining a terror down from above. Peren and her gun going down, and this is 3 people alive just to 2.
But
Percy gonna find Demento. It's Arts. Can he get the spam he needs? Syed dodging and dipping on the cart. He's out. He's dead. Arts finds the crucial picks. It's Krusty. He's headshot. Gonna go down to Gel's bomb. 40 seconds left as the spawners are in. No one's gonna have Uber for this. This might be a quick fix spot, honestly.
Yeah, 30 seconds about to tick down on the clock. This is pretty much one last chance for Krusty Krab, and a good call for the crits. We'll keep an eye out, see if maybe that builds just in time. Peren's got a gun coming up. 22 seconds as Krusty Krab try to figure out what they're going to do. Demento
finds the gun and Arts. Sand gonna trade back on tip of the cart. And that's going to be the cap. Seconds left to go on that. That went down to the wire. Major props to Percy for keeping his team in that for so long. That's the pop-off we were talking about, but it just wasn't enough. It came so close.
This is our first round. This is our first round of this match, and look at the hype generated. Insane. I'm sweating.
I'm gonna need some water, before this ends. Assuming we even go to all three, we're assuming this is Krusty Krab's map, right? So for it to come this close, no matter whose map this was, this could have gone either way. And more of these pop-up moments are sure to come for the players that they've come from. It's gonna be a really long, exciting night at this rate. But that is gonna be the 1-0 for Krusty Krab. They're gonna be happy about that.
I'm trying to.
And I mean, it's hard to analyze anything in that last play other than just looking at individual, choices and decision making. I mentioned before Billy might have given up that third cap a few seconds early, and it looked like he might have been in position to cap it. But when again that Uber came out, he might have been able to sneak it in because I don't think any of the hit scan classes were able to hit him from where they were Ubering from. But he got off, tried to deny it, and died. So, I mean, same result either way, right? Krusty Krab wins, but I think we got to see a bunch of the squirtyay players really kind of flex their muscles there. We saw Gel coming in with some big bombs onto cart. Percy with that insane 10k to really just make that even doable. And I think that momentum coming through might serve them really well in the coming half.
Well, a quick note too about Percy's 10k. Amazing as it was, outfragged Demento by 3. So if the Demento really did hold serve in a battle that we highlighted. So if that 10k is shortened by a bit, Demento really did go toe to toe with Percy. We'll have to see if that momentum continues because I'm assuming Demento's confidence has to be going up. Clearly, Percy has no shortage after rocking that 10k, and I don't think it could have been closer. And now we come back to our predictions. We all said that it had the potential to have these really close halves. Alto, you called it 2-0 for Krusty Krab, but you knew rounds could come down to this. We'll have to see how it turns out, but clearly the teams are delivering for us right now.
Without a doubt. And one thing I do want to mention, though, because we are tracking these snipers, it was only 3 kills apart, I think, but it was also 5 deaths apart. And something on sniper that you have to keep in mind of is that often the threat of a sniper is more dangerous than the sniper themselves, right? If like what we saw in that very first defense half from Krusty Krab, Jacob got the SVS on defense but died for it. Like that's not a worthwhile trade to be making. If you would trade
Telly.
Yeah, you trade your offense sniper for the defense sniper every single time if you have that option. So he definitely made me eat my words on when he was on offense, consistently finding those SVS kills. But at the same time, again, that inexperience does show through. Those extra deaths, and this is a coincidence, obviously, but squirtyay managed to outfrag Krusty Krab there by 5, which is exactly the difference in the sniper deaths. And again, I'm not, I don't think there's any real stock in that. It's just a coincidence with the numbers, but it goes to show you that squirtyay's, even if their DM is on par, the coordination maybe from Krusty Krab is a little bit better, and they're able to take advantage of those missteps from squirtyay maybe just a little bit better than the other way around.
Yeah, which you would expect. We mentioned going into the game, it's a pseudo K&D team on Upward. A lot of their fame comes from this map. They do this map so well. We've seen Kresnik, Jared both make massive plays. That core of the K&D combo that is famously so good on this map. So they definitely are at that advantage. It's going to be up to squirtyay to see if they can match it and then come up ahead in the individual plays, which we did see a lot. Figsy, I do think outperformed Billy by quite a bit. Percy, we mentioned he did barely outperform Demento, but it was negligible at points. I think if these players keep up this streak and maybe get a bit better as the game goes on, they certainly have a chance here.
Well, the countdown is starting. Krusty Krab now on offense, and that 9-minute time was about where Krusty Krab ended up last time. They definitely want to improve on that. Like, you're happy you won, but they got stifled quite a bit on third and last, really giving second chances to squirtyay. So I think if you're coming out for Krusty Krab, you're happy you won it, but there's still things that you can change, and I wonder if maybe that's a little bit of that extended pause, the team's talking over like, okay, how do we change the outcome just a bit? How does Krusty Krab do a little bit better? How does squirtyay not fall apart right at the end? But here we go.
If I'm Krusty Krab, I am relieved after winning that. I'm not exactly happy, I'm relieved, because you should ideally be beating this team a little bit more.
I feel like Hino
solidly.
getting that kill. Demento should know that's going to happen. I'm sure he plays Spy. He knows Spy stands on the left more often than not. Shouldn't be getting backstabbed immediately unless he's going for the pick. And Percy going to find the snipe onto Billy with an open SBS. So 3 kills to none, make it 4. Percy getting Exa. Not the biggest impact frags quite yet, but setting a good pace so far, as we do see Cart going to get ×1 by the fist heavy side, dipping and dodging some pipes. And this will be going to the Krusty Krab combo walking out right. And they're actually going for a bomb. Jarrett's in the sky right now. Bomb from JJ coming in as well. They haven't quite found a frag yet, as they're all going to go down. Spy coordination is not in. Busy's back on the teleporter, so Sack gets nothing.
And Ray and co have to be pretty happy with that. Still sitting on that 100%, still got that gun set up. So, I mean, obviously first, it's going to be just kind of bleeding some extra time. But with the way squirtyay approached their last offense, as much extra time as you can bleed, you're going to be happy with. Demento kind of far forward, might go down, manages to survive as some more pipes. Yeah, go that way. But we'll see. Krusty Krab, oh, they actually come in with the Uber, and we'll see if anything comes out of this.
Yeah, they're going to have the worst Uber again. Figsy air blasting back. Hino going to find Demento a second time this game, so no sniper threat to worry about. They can walk out here and go for some frags. Uber expired a lot later for squirtyay, so they have better health right now. And looks like they're just trying to repel Krusty Krab's push. It's Jarrett alone on the car right now, as no frags have gone off in quite a while. Bomb up top from JJ. Gonna try to find something as Sandblast wins the scout. The scout on the side. So that's a big kill for pressure. But Krusty Krab still have position on cart. A rebomb from JJ and getting denied by Sand. Great float there. And Jarrett going down to Percy. This should be a 1 defense for squirtyay.
Yeah, look how look how far forward Billy and Kresnik are. Okay, they got a little bit of position. Good job from the collapse of squirtyay, or onto them by squirtyay. And that's 2 waves at this point that squirtyay have survived. The Ubers are out, so maybe if Krusty Krab can find something.
Win for Percy. It's his 5k, doing a lot better this round so far. Make it a 6k. Jarrett going down. They can't push off this. They got to wait for that spawner. Although Ray does have a 20% advantage, so it's not like they were going to be pressed for time anyway.
Well, if Percy is feeling the confidence right off the bat,
yeah.
Well, there goes Saya. This is dangerous now.
I'm having flashbacks of
Krusty
doing this to my team.
Well, that's a great compliment. Oh god, yeah. Let's just bring out all these names. Percy does finally go down. Jarrett with a couple of stickies underneath his feet. Uber gets used, but good job by Figsy yet again. Keeping the Uber back. We'll see. Krusty Krab do have opportunity to get in, especially now with Sandblast going down.
Percy, Hino down as well, so no sniper, no scout, hard to hold this. They're going to leave Arts out to dry, as Vizzy can't get anything on the back out, and that will be the point for Krusty Krab, but squirtyay is more than happy with that hold.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Especially
exactly
they got Medic and Engie out. They're going to be perfectly set up.
3 minutes. Yeah. That's excellent.
Ooh,
and there
Percy's
goes
too far
Percy yet
up.
again.
He does trade for Kresnik, but that's not really worth it at this point. Squirtyay need to regroup their players. And Gun getting wrangled back. Jill trying to jump away, but gets cleaned up by Syath. Great play. And this fast play from Krusty Krab is catching squirtyay a bit off guard. Figsy some air blast, keeping people out of her spawn, but going to get chased down by Syath on a 3k, chasing people down with Jarrett on a 4k himself. And that will be a really good follow-up by Krusty Krab here.
Well, JJ misses the bomb upper, but Sand manages to take him out. There goes Vizzy as well. And
they're trying to push through tracks.
Yeah, Syath is also off the scenes. I lost track of him. Yeah, he's back on part. Like, there goes Sand. It's interesting to see squirtyay kind of come back. You don't normally see this happen. Yeah, this is really aggressive. They managed to get the Uber out of Krusty Krab, but you got to wonder at the end of this,
Sandblast
will they be better for
on
it?
Demento really badly. Demento rail off a headshot after that into Arts, needs to go back and heal. Bomb in from JJ, gonna force Percy back. 1 HP, but a Surf's gonna get him out for now. Gonna try to get chased down, but on the front end, Syath running in again, gonna take down Gel. And there is a lot of damage in for Krusty Krab here. They have positioning once again, as that Uber from squirtyay didn't find anything.
It was a curious use, and luckily they didn't get so punished for it as they could have for squirtyay. The fact that they managed to keep their players alive for the most part, and now they kind of back out to third after gaining maybe an extra 30 seconds. But I think they're definitely lucky that they got that extended time on first, because now you're kind of getting to the point where you're kind of back on an average time if you're Krusty Krab.
Yep, Hino gonna take down Demento again, although Scythe will get his 5th kill in the kill streak on him, cleaning him up, so that sniper will be back up. Both medics have Uber right now. Krusty Krab leaning a bit towards tracks. They haven't quite gotten the cart up as far as they want before they make this push happen. Percy gonna find one at the exit, so that cart pusher is down. Not gonna be able to get that one across. As Combo walking through, Kresnik going for that shithouse flank that we saw him go for last round as well. So the pieces are coming together right now.
Yep, here comes the cart up the first ramp. 2 more to go as Percy rattles off. Just keeps going.
Demento's there too. He's actually gonna jump onto the track and try to find an angle. Hino finding Jarrett is really big. And there's the pick, Demento countering onto the demo man of the opposing team. Sandblast finds out that shithouse flank in advance though. Kresnik gonna go down, and he's gonna cleaver down exit too. So Sandblast clearing up the flank for his team.
Well, now you've got to get to the point where, I mean, Scythe should be jumping on this car. It looks like he's going for it now. Dementor's going to be able to help push just to get into a better position to snipe. And there goes JJ actually finding the pick onto Percy. So you have an opportunity now if you're Demento to just kind of shoot with reckless abandon. That gun is going to be in a precarious spot with the Uber likely coming
Demento
in.
sniped down Ray again from the shithouse. The angle dropping Ray, and that's going to be a free Uber for Krusty Krab. Going to take down Figsy and Sand. Combo's getting taken down. Gun wrangled out. Going to be able to get out in time, but Arts is... Oh, Jared's trying to bottle him, but he just take him down. There's the cleanup from the Enforcer of Vizzy, and that drop is everything for Krusty Krab. They get that 3rd point snowballed easily, and Demento taking out Sandblast on the end. Scythe on his 7k, and that's going to be a really bad reset for squirtyay coming into the 4th hole.
Yeah, really great job by Demento. Cannot be stressed enough, stepping up for his team. And Percy trying to get something done in the box.
Oh, that's where 10k happened, but Scythe's going to shut it down early. 8k, worthwhile trade.
Yeah, it does not want to let Percy get perched up yet again, because they know exactly how that music goes. But here comes the gun should be going down. Perenji has to go back to spawn.
Real bad for squirtyay.
Yeah, Krusnik now close to spawn, finds one. Maybe he could get an arrow or some heals. Oh no, Blake is down. Sandblast found a pick. I don't know if that's going to be enough just because of the sheer numbers and how close it is.
The health is bad though. Kresnik gonna go down, JJ at 1, but all of the squirtyay is wiped except for Gel, so even without the medic, they should be perfectly fine here. Krusty Krab looking to walk this one in.
Gel just kind of maybe padding some damage stats, knew that not too much to be found by bombing in. And 7:01, that's a really solid time. That's a little bit below average, kind of what you had mentioned before, 7.5, 8. So it's going to be tough for squirtyay to answer.
How often do you see 7/3 of an upward hold coming on first?
I was just about to say that. If I told you that squirtyay capped 3rd and last in 3 minutes, you'd believe me. If I told you that they still had a 7-minute time, you'd be a little bit confused about how that happened.
Yeah, really impressive. Well, Alto, while we were taking down, anything specifically you want to highlight that you had seen?
There was a really good timed battalions coming out of Gel on 3rd that I feel was wasted. Where he popped it out right as we saw all of Krusty Krab kind of starting to move up, getting ready to push in. And it felt like that, I don't know if they just had bad health at the moment, but that entire banner was wasted, and it felt like the second it ended, Ray peeked out and got dropped, when that wouldn't have happened had they moved a little bit quicker and with that banner. So I don't want to focus too much on that as is, but I mean, I think that we saw Demento start to perform a lot better on 3rd and 4th, and that almost directly contributed to the much faster time, and we see him get Percy right out of the gate here.
Yeah, sometimes that chance timing just works out in your favor or against your favor, and a player steps up and finds that window. But, well, as you mentioned, Demento did start off early, and we're just waiting to see how squirtyay want to posture to this, whether it be sack waves or just kind of running it down the gut.
Ooh, but Percy getting that SVS whip can open up a lot of space, although Jarrett does take down Fren and Sandblast, so the car pusher is taken down. No scout, no NG. They aren't enough to go fast enough. The sniper's dead. They're already over the hill, and Arts is going to get the Uber popped on him. He gets popped up. It's going to be wasted on the front half. Here's the counter for Krusty Krab. It's a lot better, and squirtyay have to get out of dodge here.
Yeah, Ray's back.
Ray. That was so close.
She's down to 40 HP. Gonna start regenning. Actually gonna go all the way for a resup, which I don't mind. There goes Jarrett finding a pick onto Sand, and really squirtyay. They got the Ubers out, so this is possible if they can find a couple of picks, but just kind of resetting for positioning and see if they can find something. Oh, there it is.
Pause number 3.
Our favorite pause. We need one every round, every half of a round.
I'm guessing it's another issue for Arst. I've been having some internet issues, and hopefully they get resolved as quickly as the others. As many pauses we've had, they've been relatively quick. I've sat at pauses for 10 minutes. Looks like it might be Figsy having issues, but I mean, there's obviously not too much to break down thus far in this round, but it's still looking relatively good for Krusty Krab in terms of they defended the first wave well, and that's kind of all you need if you set a 7-minute time, is just to have a good average hold.
Yeah, something good to note is Ray going back to spawn for the resub actually cost her a lot of Uber percentage. She's going to be 20% down on Blake. That's going to cost him a few seconds to try to build up. Demento finding the snipe onto Gel, Arts trading back onto Scythe, so one flank member going down for each team. As Hino is caught out here on the flank, going to get Rescue Ranger down, and Kill's going to trade it back and forth. Arts finally finds a big win onto Jarrett as Percy gets JJ, so explosive class is down for Krusty Krab. They're going to have to play a bit passive here, as Playground is now seeded. Demento finds Sand on the jump up though, so defending the ground for his team.
Yeah, looking good thus far. Ray is back to about 90, not building, and starts building now. Blake again, of course, still on 100%, but there goes Percy. So although Ray's gonna have Uber, she's kind of in a precarious spot. There's a sniper dot near her. She's got to be careful as the respawns come in from squirtyay.
They're at full
they can
Uber and they're
approach
wasting
this.
time. They need a pop. They don't have much time left. They have 5 minutes to push the entire thing, and they're sitting around 100%. They need to go.
It's been 2 minutes on first already.
Oh, that's rough. Well, the Uber does come in. This has to be successful. The gun from Exa will go down, so that's one thing they've gained, but Arse might go down, manages to back all the way out. But Krusty Krab, they don't need to back out just yet. They're still looking solid.
That said,
they can
Jarrett gets sniped down by Percy, so not looking too solid anymore. Figsy running in for damage and heal denial. We're going to do a lot of work, and now they have to back out without the demo man and with weak health. squirtyay piling up on this cart, but a lot of damage coming in from JJ, Kresnik, and Billy. They're going to get some cleanup kills, but it finally does get capped up. That's 2.5 minutes pushing first. That's slightly better than they did against their Krusty Krab did, but in the context of this game, that's very much not what they wanted.
Yeah, the Caster's Curse in HL, literally as you're saying something, of course the opposite is going to begin to happen. Just the game can change on a dime so quickly, but we'll see if squirtyay, well, they do find a couple of picks. Well, JJ's respawning now. They have the
That's
opportunity.
a big pick onto Jarrett. Remember,
yeah.
Krusty Krab snowballed this instantly. squirtyay has to do the same.
Well, Gel is getting the cart forward. Right now, Sandblast looks like he's going to be with the Uber.
Why are they so far back on hill? It's just Scythe and Demento. They need this time.
Yeah, Sandblast goes lower, maybe to help out with the cart, and he's going to go down to
Kresnik is doing a lot of work in tunnel, though, so he is going to finally get cleaned up by Peren, getting that heavy out. But they're still back on this hill. The only Krusty Krab member out far is Demento. When Hino sees them, he's going to get backstabbed here in a second, and that's going to be the sniper down. So I don't know what squirtyay is doing. You have to get in there. You have 3.5 minutes left.
This is looking rough. They do manage to find a number of picks now. Here comes the Uber. That gun should be going down. Cart's going to begin moving forward, but you have to collapse on this. You can't let this sustain any longer. There goes the gun. And Krusty Krab are going to back out to third, but they need to have a clean third. 3 minutes left to push third and last. Even just the cart time alone is going to be rough, so they really need
They have
a
the pick
clean
onto
take.
Jarrett, and neither Met has Uber. They need to go now and take all this ground.
Well, looks like they're doing just that. The cart's going to take a while to catch up, but you can't really worry about that. Got to trust your players in that situation. Demento
doing a
got
good job
picked up
of
by
it, too.
Hino.
They have a lot of ground here, a lot of key kills. Demento, Blake, Scythe, and Billy all going down. Percy on that 5K doing work as Sand cleans up that medic. So this third snowball is going to happen. That's a lot better than the second snowball. Spy in onto Sand, going to take him down. Does get cleaned up in the end. We're going to see what Krusty Krab decide to do. It looks like they're hanging back in choke. They're going to say it's fine, we can give up third and do our last hold, but that's exactly what squirtyay needed to stay in this game.
How sad do you feel if you're Blake and you die, like, getting around a corner to a heavy a million miles away?
Percy's in behind?
Wait, where?
He's kind of in the opponent's stairwell looking for a med
Oh,
pick,
yeah.
You know, we'll ignore that one. We'll call that a water sim.
Yeah, oh, I like it. I like it. Yeah, an attempt was made, but 100% Uber for squirtyay. They have all the advantage. Yeah, if they can take upper and maybe get a little bit closer to the spawn to choke Jarrett and Blake out, this could work out. But Figsy getting picked up by Demento, that could be a problem as Billy Saurus and Kresnik are delaying this push.
Spine
Blake
cart.
at 70.
and he finds Gel. Demento gonna find Figsy as well. So 2-man advantage. Gonna be
What?
respawners coming in soon.
What
We're
happened
gonna
to the
see what
Uber? They just
they
used
just used it. It looks like it came in through the back stairs. Their medic is currently outside main right now, but that didn't go as planned at all. Blake gonna have Uber for this, and although Art isn't behind gonna be able to spam this gun, it's all about the front side Uber.
Well, Syath, Jarrett, they're going to be walking into the air blast of Figsy. She's going to go down, as well as Gel. So Krusty Krab doing a good job with that Uber. That's pretty much all you need, but squirtyay do come back with an advantage. If they can keep Ray alive, they still have a lot to do, though, because that gun's going to need to go down, and they're going to find picks and get the cart. So a lot to multitask with. Team is capable, but can they come up clutch?
Yeah, Vizzy gonna die, so no spy comms coming in, but Krusty Krab is aggressive in this choke. Syath's doing some scouting on scout, taking some notes for his team, and it looks like they're gonna be playing outside of blast. It's just gonna be JJ holding tiles, so that means it's gonna be an all-out rush for this cart. We got 30 seconds left, 100% Uber for Ray. Blake is only on 70. They gotta get Blake down here.
Sandblast got picked up.
Oh,
big pick from Hino, but right now the picks are in favor still
JJ,
of
it's up to
Krusty
JJ
Krab.
and upper.
Can he get it done? Figsy, Paren, Ray all get picked up. That means no heals, 15 seconds, and a gun is still up. I'm hard-pressed to see if squirtyay can do it, but I'd love to see the Cinderella
Kresnik and
story.
Jarrett are full HP up top left here.
Yeah.
JJ's been holding tiles this entire time. There's so much spam on the cart, it doesn't look possible. That's going to be the 2-0 for Krusty Krab.
Dang, that so close on both sides, and you're really, it's like a pick goes the other way, or another 15 seconds here or there. It's a completely different story, but you know what? We live in reality and not the land of make-believe, and Krusty Krab are going to convert, take the map 2-0, and kind of get in front of it in a match that we thought had a chance of slipping for them.
Point in the pred book for me, boys. I in all seriousness, I want to throw a little bit of cast maybe a little bit of doubt onto Ray there, as I think that a lot of the things you guys were talking about throughout that throughout that half regarding it feels like almost a lack of action from squirtyay, at least from an outside perspective, appeared to be her, at least related to her in some way, as a lot of the time on second, we saw a couple of situations where classes were down, or as Zag was saying, it was only Demento. Just one sniper, right?
And they have a spy calling his location on him.
And Ray is sitting behind the rock on hill, not moving heals forward to support the team. There was the time on, and then we look towards last, right? Where there's that really just bizarre Uber in lower, where they had the snowball through third, they had the full ad. I didn't see exactly what happened, but she used in the bottom of the back staircase, like in the basement area, and then Arts ran alone into upper. She didn't come with him, and he just got instantly mulched, and she ran out towards tracks. I don't know what the situation behind that Uber is, but I feel like in that situation in a playoff match, even if you accidentally you need to follow Arts there and at least try to let him get in. I mentioned the snipe on third when she was defending, and then right at the end there, they killed Blake, which is ideally the ideal pick, but Ray dropped Arts right at that exact same moment. And even if you don't have an Uber, a heavy Uber into a gun, a heavy, a sniper, and a demo all with height advantage does not a winning push make.
Yeah, I was going to say I really was disappointed with that last push. It just seemed like squirtyay, they got too ahead of themselves. They weren't exactly sure. They didn't check their bases. Once they get that drop or that kill onto Blake at 80% and they have full Uber with 30 seconds, you got to think, what do you need to do to win this point? And the answer is not drop your demo man and walk your heavy in through main and walk 4 people onto cart. What they needed to do was they needed to get high ground. Flash your demo and your soldier in. Have them jump up and take down that demo man who mulched all your players on the cart. When they drop players and stack on cart, it's just easy to defend. You don't need the Uber. We had JJ and Jarrett stacking spam. Krusty was guarding. It just seemed like squirtyay didn't quite know what they needed to do there. Either the heat of the moment got to them, where it's like, go, 30 seconds, we have the advantage, go in, and they just didn't know what they needed to do, or they just haven't practiced it. So,
yeah,
unfortunate.
It's tough for squirtyay because now they are behind the 8 ball, and we're kind of in between, like, whose map pick is this or not. But if they did start on offense, if squirtyay did in the very beginning, you have to assume then maybe Lakeside was the pick, which we'll be going to next, was the pick of Krusty Krab, which could be very dangerous. Now, it is a sniper heavy map, earlier we said that could be a problem, but Demento has really stepped up. So this could Lakeside could go Krusty Krab's way if Demento continues performing as well as he did, because we know Krusty Krab's combo is generally going to be stronger. I mean, you've got Kresnik and Jared. It's hard to argue with those types of players.
Yeah, it said Percy, we looking at the stats, did drop 43 frags on that map, top fragging the server, doing a lot of work. He is no doubt feeling it. He's going to think I can win this game, and Lakeside might be the map for him to do it on. So whether or not squirtyay is going to have more or less confidence, assuming this was Krusty Krab's map, who knows? They might be thinking, wow, we almost won both halves. Imagine what we can do on our map pick, or a map pick that we practice more.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if you look at those kind of key class matchups, the one thing that I'm really, especially if you look at the logs right there, the one thing that I'm a little bit concerned for might actually end up being the soldiers, where it's we haven't been paying too much attention to them, but just off of the stats there, we see JJ dealing a lot more damage and having a significantly better KD than Gel. More deaths, granted, but a lot more work done. And if you think about, at least from my personal experience with Syath, I know he really likes to try to pull off that bathhouse hold on Lakeside if squirtyay is ever going to get the point, and I know a lot of the K&D members are fond of that as well. If your flank there is really getting heavily outmatched, you're putting so much pressure onto your sniper to be the one person really able to break that. And I don't know. I mean, I want to say that Percy can continue this momentum, but I think the right pieces on Krusty Krab are firing right now for them to be able to perform well on Lakeside.
I think there was a major difference in experience between the two soldiers coming on that last. We saw without JJ Slim holding tiles when his entire team was stuck in spawn, that could have gone a whole lot different. Him stacking spam with Jarrett and just being a different threat, a different angle to look at, was everything on that last defense. And I've not seen Gel actually make a play in that same regard, right? Where it was very impactful with the outcome of the game. It did a lot to help the rest of his team push forward, or it was just a really pop-off play. So we'll have to see if Lakeside is a bit different for Gel in that regard, but JJ is looking to have a lot of impact throughout this entire game.
Yeah, one thing I was looking at too, not to belabor the points about the snipers, but Percy and Hino combined for 22 frags on Demento. So the two pick classes,
the
doing
spy
a
main,
lot
the
of
spy
work.
main can't deal with pick classes.
So it's something to look out for. Obviously, Demento really holding his own in a tough position. But that could be a problem for Lakeside because you kind of the spawn waves back and forth for upward, and you have like your defense to feel comfortable, and you have those hot streaks. For Lakeside, if you spend the entire time getting backstabbed by a spy, or just at like any Koth map in general, the other team is going to have such a heavy advantage because every time they get an extra 15 seconds to not deal with a sniper, they can push forward a little bit. They can grab the point if they don't have it yet. So I want to keep an eye on, not that I want to say like, all right, let's start the Demento death counter, but it's going to be something important. If like Alto said, the threat of a sniper being alive is sometimes just as good as the sniper themselves, Demento really needs to play into that.
I think they'll have no problem adjusting to that because, like he mentioned, they really like the bathhouse hold and they like to play a group together on Lakeside once they actually have the point. And if you have all your players stacked on each other in bathhouse, guess who can't do any work? The spy.
That's true. Well,
Yeah,
we are.
and I don't know. I mean, I feel like since if you've ever talked with Syath, he is of the opinion that the bathhouse hold on Lakeside, when done properly, is unbeatable. So at least from almost a personal perspective, I'm very interested to see how they end up playing this. But because of that, right, if it is going to be very difficult to break and might, rely more on mistakes coming out of Krusty Krab more so than, proactive moves from squirtyay, I'm really now excited for the mid fights because I feel like the mid fights are going to be the best time for squirtyay to really get in there because Percy and Sandblast are both going to be able to fully leverage their strength on this map, as is Arts, because any invite player knows that Arts gets more powerful when he's shooting things he cannot see. So Lakeside's the ideal map for him, because he's very good at blind spam. And Jarrett, obviously, high invite, one plat multiple times, but can he compete with Arts' echolocation? Honestly, I'm not sure.
We have a resident expert in echolocation in the behind the production booth, so maybe he puts up that prediction meter for Lakeside. Maybe he doesn't.
Good reference.
That was
with
nice.
That was good.
nice. It's beautiful. Yeah, well, the teams are finally getting ready on Lakeside, doing a little bit of a switcheroo as they start to find their way. So hopefully it won't be too much longer on the break. And well, I don't know. So now we're at the point where so Alto, you're 1-for-1 right now in terms of your predictions. Has that map changed the way you think this might turn out for Krusty Krab and Squirtyay?
I'd say that it has, but not as much as Squirtyay would probably hope. I feel that nothing. I don't think I saw enough from Squirtyay in that. If I'm being honest, that's going to really sell me on them this map. I mean, I as a caster, obviously, I always want games to go as long as possible, and maybe there's always a little bit of inherent underdog bias, but if I'm being realistic and I'm hedging my bets, I feel like Squirtyay is going to need to have multiple players play significantly better than they did on Upward on Lakeside if they want to pull this one out.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar, where I feel like what I saw of Squaria actually just made my opinion of how they, even if this is their map pick, it made my opinion of how they would do here probably worse, just because I didn't like what I saw in the clutch moments from them. They just feel like they're unprepared. They're just a bit too inexperienced as a team together playing at this level of Highlander. I know there's a lot of experienced players on the team. It's just they didn't look nearly as composed as you would hope of a team fighting for second place. So my prediction for this map, are we doing one half or first to four? Three or
Should
four?
be first to 3, I think. Playoffs are to 3.
Generally they are, but I feel like I've seen some playoff matches end up going 4, and maybe we'll be surprised that.
Yeah, we call the move forward, and then there's another round.
Yeah.
All right, we have the waters have spoken, and we are going to 3 on here. So,
by God, that's Aquaman.
I'll go first. I'm gonna throw out a 3-1 in favor of Krusty Krab here.
Yeah,
I think
I'm gonna say
that
3-1.
I'm gonna throw. I have enough respect and belief in Percy that he'll be able to lead them to 1 round if Jacob ever starts slipping. But I think that the rest of Krusty Krab is just playing on a much higher level right now, and that even if they make some mistakes, those few mistakes that they make are a lot more damaging on payload than they are on Koth. Where even if you get that drop onto Blake in last like you do on Upward, you end up getting you end up only losing a minute off the clock on that, really, if you can play well.
Well, you guys both said 3-1, which is what I was gonna say.
I'll change it then, just for the sake of having a chance at tying Alto. I'll go 3-0 Krusty Krab.
Oh wow, okay.
Ooh.
I was gonna go the opposite way and just say 3-2.
All different predictions. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So no matter what, well, no, I was gonna say no matter what, someone wins. But actually, if maybe
unless
Krusty
Krab
pulls it out, yeah, exactly. Well, maybe a chip on the shoulder. I know a couple of the players from Squirtyay were in the chat. If they are hearing this, maybe that's a chip on their shoulder, and they want to prove all 3 of the casters and analysts wrong.
Do it.
Right?
You won't.
Well,
I want to see Asheville.
I do want to see Asheville too, honestly.
It would be a lot of fun. We do finally have 9v9 in the server. I'm hoping, I don't know, I may have heard a ready up sound from one of the teams, or may have just made that up, but hopefully we'll be going live pretty soon in this map. I think it's going to deliver either way. Whether, let's say it does go 3-0 for Krusty Krab, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be close, because despite Upward going 2-0, clearly those were very tight rounds for both sides.
Yep, and we are just waiting for that ready up to come in. We've gotten word that they're live in real time, so the ready up should be here shortly. Anything you want to watch on this mid Alto, or anything you think is important to be looking at as this game gets started?
I really want to watch Soldiers right now.
Yeah.
I think that I think that if Squirtyay is going to take this, right, you have to at least assume that Percy's going to be beating Demento, that Arts is going to go even with Jarrett, and that Sandblast is going to go even with Sayat. Those are big ifs, right? Don't get me wrong, but if we want to see them win, that's the baseline. Then I really want to see Gel step up here, because I remember casting him in Advanced Grand Finals last season and him having some absolutely massive plays. And I just feel that you really need to step up, and that if he can kind of channel in those huge bombs that I remember casting last season, we'll see a lot more improvement from squirtyay.
Well, we'll see if squirtyay can get this done. The mid does start. Not too much going out right at the start, although Billy Saurus down pretty low, gonna get healed up as Figsy goes down, the first casualty of this map. Hino trying to get the backstab, can't connect. So Blake is going to survive, although a little bit worse for wear, but that shouldn't be an issue for Krusty Krab.
3 pick advantage for Krusty Krab, all coming in that bathhouse hold. As you see, their flank is pushing through. Percy finds Billy, but Exa, JJ, and Vizzy are all in the enemy spawn right now. Gonna try to spawn camp Figsy, but Figsy finds the kill onto Vizzy, and JJ has to jump out. But that bathhouse control has done enough pressure that this mid is uncontested, really, and that's gonna be the full cap for Krusty Krab.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing that Bathhouse is the wheelhouse of Krusty Krab right now, although the Uber's going to come over the point, so not dealing with Bathhouse. Here comes the opposite. Blue's Uber comes in. Sandblast gets 1. That's onto Jarrett, but really not finding too much else after that. The minigun gonna do some work, as the point does get capped up by squirtyay as they found those picks, but otherwise, I mean, that's a solid take for them.
Sayath took down Percy at the end of that fight, and he's a long spawn timer, so that's a lot of time for Demento to look for picks right now before he has to worry about SVS, as it's going to be, yep, there we go, finds the pick onto Figs, and without Pyro, Bathhouse hold becomes a lot less viable in the hold, and they're going to back out of it because of that, now going to the point, but Krusty Krab is the faster rotation.
Yeah, those faster spawns coming up big for them, too.
That can always be huge. It's something small that it's hard to track in real time, but we really get to see over the top. There goes Hino getting a backstab onto Demento. We'll keep that one for the logbook, as point is almost capped. So for Krusty Krab, if they can find a pick or two, they might just be able to steal this from underneath squirtyay's nose.
Ray's going to get Uber, though, so they can block the point with this. Sayath running forward, trying to find the pick he can. The force is going to come out as Percy surfs it out, and that's a lot better Uber for squirtyay. They're going to chase in Billy and JJ going down. Sandblast looking for shots into Sayath, but can't hit any. Sand is going to be denying this point as Hino finds the picks onto Demento, and Percy finds the snipe onto Blake. So a lot of big picks from the pick classes of squirtyay, although their combo is weakened by the loss of Sand. They're going to look to push into Bathhouse here, try to clean up these leftover players. Sayath are going to be fighting 1v3, gets taken down by Gel. 2k from Gel, and that's going to be the point hold for squirtyay.
Well, just get buffed up now for squirtyay. They've done a lot of good work to get themselves in this position. Sandblast looking over the point, trying to see if they can get anything done as Hino falls in the back lines, and keeping an eye. Jarrett starts to take an eye. He's on the point. ×2. The cap's going down. ×4 now.
Watch Ray's
like
mover. Ray spies on Ray. Ray's at 90%. Finally going to find Sandblast, though. Ray's movement was too much.
Oh!
But Ray going to burn down and get sniped by Demento on the back end. They can't quite find that Uber as Krusty Krab walks on the point and takes control. 75% advantage for Blake. He's going to have by the time squirtyay is ready to push back up. But it's a 1-minute advantage for squirtyay, so they won't be too upset except for that drop.
That's looking really good, like a really good take for Krusty Krab. And although the momentum was firmly in squirtyay's favor, they just found an opportunity to get on the point and then let the Uber do the rest of the work. And it looks like squirtyay wants to repeat that performance. Is getting a little bit of time right now is Sandblast. Ours spamming out Bathhouse and maybe could help with the cap just a little bit, but I think is scared of that sightline of Demento. Yeah.
So they need to get this capped up to force Krusty Krab to Uber out. Here it is. Blake gonna come out here on Jarrett and Sayath, looking to chase down whatever player can. Figsy does a great job denying. Sayath in alone, gonna find the kill onto Sandblast, and Vizzy gonna clean up Percy, but squirtyay get their entire combo out, Sands the Pyro. So really big denial from them. They're gonna have 70% to Blake's 20, and they're looking to repush here.
Yeah, they're dry pushing right now. Sand is across the point. Are spamming over the top, over towards the obelisk at the moment as well. Sayath finds 1, though. That's Arts. That's a huge pick to find. But with this point half capped and Uber coming up for squirtyay, they've got to take this point. Figsy,
yeah, they're trying to clear
forward.
up Bathhouse. Figsy going forward as well, as Sandblast finally going to take down Kresnik. Uber across from Figsy and Sandblast. Sandblast going to get sniped down, though, so he goes on. Figsy's WM1ing onto the enemy. Bat's going to find Jarrett. That's going to be worth it, even if Figsy does die. Percy finding the snipe onto Demento, and Hino finding the stab onto Blake in all the chaos. So really big play by squirtyay. All of squirtyay do their job there, and they get the point, and they get the medic advantage.
That's really solid. A good job by Krusty Krab, at least at the end in Bathhouse. They take some control over that, but they're so low on HP. I think JJ, gonna go down right at the end, just as the pack respawns. But that might be positioning enough for Krusty Krab to get back in, because they have favored that Bathhouse hold, and if they can get some time on the point, they are behind and by about 15 seconds.
And they lost their soldier, so Bathhouse is already in control of Krusty Krab, but first he's going to find one kill, traded back by Scythe. A lot of forward pressure by Krusty Krab here, as Kresnik is walking across with Exa. They're trying to burn down Figsy in this corner, gonna at least get her medic out alive, but Figsy is going to go down. 95% for Ray, currently has Sandblast defending her, and if they can get this Uber up in time, they can repush. So Krusty Krab did cap that up, and they're at a 10-second disad, but they have 25% Uber disad. Doesn't look like squirtyay is going to be able to push off it quite yet, but this next fight is going to pretty much decide the round.
Yeah, if you're on Krusty Krab, you got to try to delay as long as possible, and Blake's going to have that Uber. So Sandblast coming in, might be able to catch Kresnik out, but Uber comes in, Blake doing a good job flashing around, and really nothing found much for either team, but the post Uber coming in. I don't know. I don't think squirtyay has found the positioning, but Percy finding a headshot.
Kresnik going down at the end. No sniper, no heavy, and Hino finding another stab onto Blake, so no heals. It's 4 down for Krusty Krab. squirtyay are going to get on this point. Scythe right now trying to bot at Arts, and he does get that kill. Jared double pipe onto Hino and Gel, doing a lot of work in that bath area, so there's still pressure. JJ's bomb doesn't find anything as the mini shuts him down. Pren with a 2K onto him and Scythe. Point is finally getting capped up, but the bathhouse control is still dangerous.
Yeah, this is good for Krusty Krab as well, because they managed to get the timer into overtime. So that extended fight, although they bled a couple more players, that just means they have to cap it to win.
Gonna revolver him down, and Demento getting sand as well. And these are long spawn timers for your heavy and sniper. Those are great defensive classes that you will now no longer have. Krusty Krab are gonna need to all-out rush this point. Frey's on 75%. If Frey can get this, it could be the saving grace.
Yeah, Arse needs to stay alive as well as Sandblast, just because of the pure damage potential from either of those players.
Air blasting off the point.
Shell goes down,
bomb
here comes the bomb in! And Demento actually managed to get the headshot onto Ray. She goes down. Wow, that is excellent take. That was clinical at the end there from Krusty Krab.
They knew exactly what Ray's Uber was at. They knew exactly what picks they had to work with, and they knew exactly what they needed to do to take that and not extend the round any longer. So Krusty Krab using their knowledge to get that round taken and their DM. So that's the 1-0 start for them.
One thing I really want to put focus on here is it feels like one of those Lakeside games where the second the defense heavy dies, that team ends up losing the point. So just want to point that out to you guys because it's a trend I've been noticing.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the heavies. Kresnik, of course, such a good heavy, arguably the best heavy in Highlander, I think would be pretty safe. But the point is getting taken from Krusty Krab as they kind of BTFO'd squirtyay in the beginning there. Ray did manage to stay alive, so Ubers will be even as Gel picks up Demento
was
playing
on
very
the enemy
aggressively.
Bats right there,
yeah,
sniping down Art, so that's going to delay the push a lot. You can't push without that demo man, so buying his team some time. He will be a long spawner, and Percy has some time by himself, but those seconds could be crucial. As the walkout is finally coming for squirtyay, they're going to have to pop first, but Percy finding that defensive heavy, like Alpha mentioned, and another one onto Billy, so that's just going to open up the point entirely.
Yeah, I'm wondering how Krusty Krab could even approach this if they want to try to defend. Hino's going to be coming in from the back. Not going to be in time for the backstab as the Uber gets used, but squirtyay hadn't had to use theirs. Now they can focus this solely on Sandblast, going to clean up the players in Bathhouse as the point gets capped by the other members. Krusty Krab are still alive, and it looks like they want to contest right after
bleeding
this
players
Uber's
in
over.
Bathhouse, Vizzy and Jarrett are going to combine for 5, make it 6 with Billy reflecting a pipe onto Figsy, and that's complete control of that area.
Blake.
Yeah,
oh, and
squirtyay's only 4 up.
Ray got picked up by Syef, so both scouts getting in behind and taking out the medics.
That was a very strange play, as everyone just decided to run into Bathhouse and see what they could get. As we are going to see Krusty Krab with the faster spawns and the more players forward going to be able to retake this. Neither medic going to have Uber for a while, with Blake sitting with a 20% advantage to work with, so that's good for them. Time is almost even, but it's going to be a 20-second ad for Krusty Krab so far. So they're going to be happy with that, especially with this Uber, and they're going to look to get into Bathhouse again, it seems. Percy's so far up.
Yeah, that was a very confident peak, and immediately just taken down. Maybe like that kind of idea of putting your team on your back could make Percy feel a little bit more aggressive, and there goes Demento.
Demento's out of position too, so
yeah.
No defensive sniper to work with. Hino's walking forward, can't
Vizzy.
find Kresnik.
Vizzy's on a 7K, just took out Ray and I believe Arst. So that really looking solid to maybe keep this in Krusty Krab's favor.
Yeah, squirtyay got a sack for the med here. They're only 5 up. They've just got a wave spawners with Blake sitting on full Uber, which is going to be really hard to deal with if they can't force this. squirtyay do have some Bath control, but Sand's very low. Snipe from Percy onto Jarrett's going to save those Bath players and give his team a lot of control, so they're going to walk forward here, but Blake still with this Uber that Krusty Krab's going to have it to pop across.
Ray putting a lot of trust in Sandblast. She ran all the way in and immediately has to back out because the Uber got used. So, I mean, that works out well for squirtyay, a little bit of pressure. And they managed to force the Uber out of Krusty Krab. Not a great one. At that, Demento goes down, and this could be the opening for squirtyay. They've got a lot of time to make up, so they better get on this point soon with that opening.
Yeah, Hino's going to be in the backline still as Gel pressures in from Bathhouse, so a lot of split pressure coming in right now, but the rest of the squirtyay combo is just kind of outside Bath. They need to walk forward. They have Uber advantage, and they're down a lot of time, so going to try to finally get on the point. Jarrett doing a good job spamming them back. Sand going to walk up, as there's a lot of players on the front for squirtyay trying to get that cleanup, and that's going to get kills onto Jarrett, but Arts is the trade. Sandblast and Vizzy both going down in the crossfires. Figsy trying to W on one side, and that's going to be yet another trade, so players down from both teams. It's a 4v4 right now.
Karen, she's going to manage to get the cap right at the end there, just a little bit left. They just kind of chipping Kresnik down as Percy finishes him off. But look at the numbers. These are all respawns from squirtyay, so the point should get recapped. Don't worry about Hino. Just get this cap. But I wonder, with waiting so long for squirtyay to get onto the point, I wonder if they were maybe waiting for Uber and didn't feel comfortable just taking the dry push, which doesn't seem like a winning strategy, especially when you've got to make up so much time. At this point, they know, though, if they don't get on this point now, the round's going to be over. So all the players are close. The Uber comes in from Blake and company, and Syath and JJ, they're going to do the rest.
Yeah, too much damage on the point right now for the side of Krusty Krab. They're just wiping squirtyay off the map, and that's going to be the 2-0 start clean. Only 1 minute off the clock that round. squirtyay looking a bit defeated on that one. Not nearly as good as their first round. At the end there, by the way, if you're Vizzy, you're typing something in chat because you saw Sandblast and Figsy both chasing you in the backline when the point is dying and they're losing, so.
Yeah, that's it's looking rough right now for squirtyay, and they've got to bounce back in a big way. At this point, if we're playing to 3, which it sounds like we heard, this is all in line. They've got to pull off the reverse sweep if they want to take this and go into the grand final match.
Mid-fight's looking pretty good for squirtyay so far. They have a 1-man ad as they've shut down the Bathhouse control. JJ, Syath, and Exa all going down. So once they get their heals out, they're going to look to walk across Pren, the sole player in Bath, going to put down the mini. And that's a lot of good positioning for Krusty Krab. Sand going to get sniped by Demento, though, and Figsy taking care of as well. And there's Vizzy, another medic pick, dropping down from the bats. What looked so good at the start, all their combo players just got wiped off the map.
And Vizzy with the domination now on Ray, so we know at least 4 spy picks throughout this, which is not the winning strategy. Yeah, there goes Hino, doing his best to keep his team in the game. We'll need to see big performances from the same cast of characters. We need to see Percy step up. Sandblast and Arst also need to combine for a whole lot of damage because those are going to be your money makers. Sandblast with his talent, and Arst really just based off of the class that he's playing. You've got to try to do that DPM when you're on demo.
Percy going to find an SVS 1 into Demento, so that's going to open up the floor a bit as Candy going to back out of Bathhouse for the most part. Exa going to be the sole person remaining in it. Gel bombing in, trying to take down this engineer with Sandblast, and the collapse is through, so they now have Bathhouse control. As the backout is going to come out here from Krusty Krab. They are 4 down, and they don't have Uber, so it's going to be hard to defend. Collapse is coming in. Sandblast jumps on Jarrett's head and deletes him. Hino's going to be here as well. Times 5 on the cap, and they want to get Blake here. Hino's decloaking. Revolver onto the medic, but no one else is helping him, and Hino goes down. They can't find the medic pick. They find Kresnik, but they need a jump here, and finally the cleanup comes. Sandblast getting that kill onto Blake. Vizzy trades onto Percy, but that is exactly what squirtyay needed. Counterbombing. One rocket.
You could tell Arst and Gel really wanted to go in for the bomb, but they waited. They made sure the point got capped, and then everyone collapsed to make sure that Blake went down. So squirtyay with great position now with 100%.
Oh, but defensive heavy, no.
Oh no, yeah, the defensive heavy. That could be the bottom of that house of cards falling out, especially now as Bathhouse gets taken by Krusty Krab, so they've got great position.
JJ's in the back line, gonna force that with some spam rockets, so it's a bit of a suboptimal Uber. Sandblast gonna go in, trying to find Kresnik, that fist heavy, doing a lot of damage soaking, as Sandblast now has no Uber left. It's gonna be a Bathhouse repush. Syath coming in with Hino, gonna get taken down by some pipes by Jarrett. Here's walk-in from Figsy, gonna do a lot of damage, but here's Gel in the backline. One more rocket is all he needs, and he finds it! Gets Exa and Blake with his last breath, and that's the collapse that squirtyay needed to keep them in this round. They now have the time advantage and the Uber advantage.
That is execution right there. You've seen that play happen a billion times where the team just can't get it done. So it means a lot when everyone can just do a little bit, and then Gel comes in with that rocket and finishes off those couple players. Percy shot onto Demento. That's going to buy some extra time to feel a little comfortable as they look to get ahead of this
Watch
clock.
out for Vizzy, though, going for a decloak on point. Gonna find Percy with that counter trade. Hino down as well, so no pick classes for squirtyay. Bathhouse control is currently being taken by Krusty Krab. They're gonna get the full health pack, and they have control of that area. So now it's about Uber. Ray at 80% to Blake's 50. And then keep players alive to be good, but JJ bombing in and finds the kill onto Ray with the help of a collapse from Syath. So dropping Ray at 90%. Unfortunate for squirtyay, but a lot of counter kills in. That Bathhouse control
Blake
is doing
low.
a lot.
Ars found a pipe on Blake while he was low. So at least if you're on the side of squirtyay, you managed to neutralize the medics. That point almost got capped. It didn't at the end of it. So squirtyay is still milking so much time off the clock, and it's Krusty Krab, especially now with Demento going down. All the onus is on them to figure this out.
And Percy, another SPS opening onto Demento. This could be the round that they get because Percy is carrying them through it, although a lot of players are doing a lot of work as well. Here's the Bathhouse collapse in from Exa, JJ, and Vizzy on Bat. A lot of pressure on Arts is very low, and Sand is off the point, so squirtyay have their attention divided, very spread wide. It's going to be a lot of pushing onto the point from Krusty Krab. Kresnik is low, but he's taking it. Bathhouse as well, that's going to be a clean push. JJ in the backline gets reflected by Figsy. He does find the medic pick, though. That's exactly what Krusty Krab need to get back into this round.
Well, squirtyay have done a good job getting to Blake in this round, and that's exactly what they need to manage to do. Blake's going to be in Bathhouse, tucked into that corner, so many players around him. Does have 100%. Gel kind of going in the back line.
He's dead.
Yeah, he basically just scouted out, like, okay, literally all 7, 8 of their players are
It's a
chilling
bit of
in
an
Bathhouse.
end. They know Bathhouse hold is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, Percy and Figsy, though, getting Vizzy and Billy, so no Pyro again. Going to be a lot easier to spam into that choke. Art's walking up. Demento misses his first shot, so no full charge overkill coming in. Uber out from Krusty Krab here, walking out. Arts is the trade, but Rain is safe in the backline. Until Demento from the Bathhouse peak takes her down.
That is brutal now for squirtyay. They had so much time on the clock. They still got a decent lead, but it's dwindling by the second, and Ray respawning now, 30% disad. I think this is the point where you got to think about taking this dry. Getting a couple players close, Sandblast goes down, that's a rough one to lose, and just trying to see if you can make a pick happen, but still, Krusty Krab are coming up clutch when it matters.
Yep, and no sniper, no spy for squirtyay, so that pick isn't coming anytime soon. Vizzy in the backline can't find the pick he wants. Exa and JJ did go down to John Bathhouse, so squirtyay are holding this ground, and if their combo can collapse in, that would be a lot of presence. But the combo rotation from Krusty Krab is going to take out Peren, help take out Sand, and force out everyone. Uber in through Bathhouse as well.
Well, Syath trying to get stuff done. Demento finding a couple of kills. Sandblast, Gel, Figsy got picked up by Jarrett. Yeah, Ray did manage to survive, but look, the cast of characters are dwindling. You gotta wait for these respawns, but now the time is back in the favor of Krusty Krab. 20 seconds left, and if they keep it, they're going to grand finals, baby.
Yeah, Ray has 90% though, and one decisive fight is all they need. They're gonna have Uber. They need to get on point within the next 10 seconds. All they need to do is wipe Krusty Krab with a full Uber ad. If they can do this, they have a lifeline.
Oh, here comes the Uber. They've got, enough time on point. Sandblast doesn't really they don't get much done with the Uber, but it created space.
Is all dead.
Here comes the cap, and look, 3 players up for Krusty Krab. 20 seconds remain. This is going to be tough. Oh, good call. this could work out. Are we going to another round?
We have 10 seconds left to get on the point. Who's available? We have Vizzy coming in. We're going to have JJ being able to jump, and Scythe Scout running on the point. But all of squirtyay is standing tall here. It's up to a last-second fight. Heavy on point, shredding people. That's 1. That's 2. That's going to be a 4K for Sand as the rest of the cavalry is here. But the health isn't there. Kresnik is on point, though, doing a lot of work. No heals, not enough heals on him. He's going to get taken down. Sandblast with a pocket pistol, and that should be a wrap. Just 2 players left for Krusty Krab. And that's the round for squirtyay. That is what they needed to get back into this game, and that is their lifeline.
Oh, wow. El, if there was any time, it's when you're about to be eliminated from playoffs. That's when you want to come that big. Yeah.
Reverse sweep begins here. You can only go up.
True.
You can only go up from here.
Jared is so much faster than Art. It's going to get a lot of spam. Peren and Gel going to be a bit worse for wear, and they can't fight Bathhouse. Fixie insta-dead. Gel can't walk in there, neither can Peren. Hino going to find JJ, which is funnily enough, as well as Art's piping on Demento is big. So even with the early control, they just lost players on that with spam. So it's going to be squirtyay walking across point, cleaning up Kresnik and Vizzy. So that somehow worked out despite a really good early rollout from Jarrett.
Yeah, mid just cleaned up by squirtyay. It looked like Krusty Krab were still contesting in Bathhouse a little bit after, but they're going to back out and resup. Hino in the tunnel manages, I think, to escape all 3 players that backed out that way.
Not Billy.
Billy pops in at the wrong moment, and is gonna survive nonetheless. Percy did go down. There's Demento getting a headshot there as Vizzy gets a backstab onto Peren. So no NG, no sniper. This could be a chance for Krusty Krab to get in.
Yeah, and we do have cap time starting up. Blake and Ray both with 100% Uber, but Krusty Krab's going to be Ubering first. They have players across the point, but they're going to have to back up. Sandblast is in. This guy got juggled by Jarrett Pipes. Great play by him to get the Uber off Sandblast, trying to go around this heavy, but Sandblast can't find the kill. And that's going to be a pretty good kite from Krusty Krab as they're looking to get back on the point here.
Well, the point is not even halfway capped, and every time Scythe tries to get a little bit more, he gets pushed off. Jarrett and Demento both go down, so this is still being held by squirtyay. No cap just yet in this round by Krusty Krab. So squirtyay holding on to this time advantage. The Ubers are just about even.
Watch out for Vizzy walking on the medic. They do find him out. Will not get that stab onto Ray. And that's going to be a Bathhouse hold coming in from squirtyay, but they don't have Uber ads, so this could be bad if they don't realize this. That said, Percy and Sand going to find picks onto Billy. Demento going to trade him back up to Sand, so defensive heavy does go down, but players still up in this Bathhouse. Uber getting closer and closer for Blake as they're going to take it in. What will the calm of squirtyay do? They're in the back right now. They can't get to Ray. Ray's at 90%.
Oh, here comes the bomb! Oh, there's JJ putting a nail in the coffin. Bye-bye, Ray. Almost had the Uber. And just a clean bomb. Krusty Krab knew what needed to be done there. They knew that they had enough time to jump in, and that's a nail. That hurts if you're squirtyay, because if you can get that Uber, you have a chance to hold on to this. But they did manage to shave 2 minutes off.
Yeah, they did shave 2 minutes off. They didn't quite get the memo that you can't hold Bathhouse at an Uber dis ad, so maybe they'll put that one in the wheelhouse for the next time. Either way, 2 minutes off the clock, not bad. Blake at a 40% Uber ad to work with, so Krusty Krab will be happy with that one. They got to keep this hold for a while if they want to tick time back up to even. Bigsy onto Percy, going to find that pick, as well as Demento finding Sandblast, so big opening picks for Krusty Krab on this defense.
Well, Krusty Krab, when they've had the point, they've looked really, really solid. So I expect them to dwindle at least a minute off of this. But still, when your opponent is already at a minute, it's a problem anytime you lose the point, unless you can even things back up. Just because you're running out of seconds and running out of chances. Good job by squirtyay, though. They sense the idea that they can dry push just a bit, especially now with Demento going down. Sand maybe a little bit over aggressive.
They got the Uber Force onto Blake, so they're going to walk forward here, try to get their kills. Ray did die to Demento earlier, so going to be at low Uber, but Ray alive for now. Krusty Krab doing a good job to get that mid off the clock with that pick. So right now, Ray only had a 10% advantage as picks are coming up Scythe on a 5K, cleaning up on the right side, getting that damage in, as the entirety of squirtyay is looking to reset in spawn. No one's out past the ruins so far. Look to walk out. It's a very small advantage, only 10%. Probably can't work off it, so this next play is going to determine if Krusty Krab are going to take into the time lead.
Well, with Ray kind of building in on that Uber, I don't want to see them wait. I don't want to see everyone sit back until Ray is at 95. This is exactly what I want to see. squirtyay at least are making Krusty Krab feel a little bit of pressure. Vizzy and Kresnik down, and Kresnik is the big one. We'll keep mentioning that defensive heavy.
Problem is
Sandblast
Arts
gets
was the
picked up.
trade, so no dome, and means Krusty Krab aren't feeling the most pressured, as Ray gonna have Uber, but they're not gonna look to get it off before Blake gets his, so gonna be the counter in available, gonna be on Sandblast. Looks like Krusty Krab actually Ubering first despite being on defense here, gonna take down Percy and Sand and Gel instantly with the bathhouse pressure, and that's a bad Uber for squirtyay as they have to rotate players out and get reset.
Yeah, at the very least, if you're not going to find too many picks with your Uber, you want to get positioning to hopefully collapse when it fades. And they got neither of those. Sandblast going to go down yet again, including Figsy. So JJ Slim or Amanda Panda 45 Woot is going to continue just having a hot game here on Lakeside.
That said, pick classes just got JJ, Jared, and then Peren got the kill onto Kresnik. So with those kills, including Arts' stickies onto Demento, that's 5 very strong defensive classes out the window for Krusty Krab. Percy gonna get traded back onto by the spy of Krusty Krab, but it will be the recap coming in, and Ray's gonna have very small Uber at even Uber. Now they could try their bathhouse hold since they do have a lot of space to work with it, but they did take into time disadvantage. Krusty Krab only 15 seconds left, whereas squirtyay has a whole minute to hold.
Well, last time, Krusty Krab were 20 seconds away from pulling into the grand finals and sending everyone to bed. Here comes the Uber. Really not too much in the beginning, but look at these picks now coming out for Krusty Krab. Jarrett finds one, and a few others in the cast of characters. But
if they back out, they need to keep players alive, because their spawns will not be up in time to contest the Krusty Krab push.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they are bleeding those numbers. Yeah, there goes ours. They'll have a chance to jump on it, but
it'll be discoordinated. It'll be without Uber, but they will have a chance.
Yeah. So 10 seconds remain. Krusty Krab looking to face MCM next week in grand finals. But can squirtyay? Do they have another last-ditch effort in them?
No. Airblast too strong.
Yeah,
they bled too hard on that last back out.
You know, I love you, Billy Source, but come on, you couldn't have made it a little bit spicier. Let them get a little bit of that cap and air blast them off. No. Well, like I said, MCM was waiting the victor of this one, and congratulations for Krusty Krab. They got knocked down here, which was a shock to many players. Of course, you know, with the asterisk with Demento, but still came out when the chips were down. Take this 2-0. And book their spot to RGL Season 6 Grand Finals.
Yep, the rematch with MCM will be coming through next week, next Monday, for that Grand Final prize pool. For now, though, we will say goodbye to squirtyay, ending the season in 3rd place. I'm sure they won't be too disappointed with that, as the 2 teams that are placing ahead of them are very strong in their own right. So squirtyay, end of season, it's tough, but I'm sure they can hang their heads high.
Yeah, I mean, they are getting a piece of that sweet RGL prize pool coming in as well, so not a failed season by any means. And I mean, I think they put up, you know, somewhat of a fight there, you know, especially in those last 2 rounds. They really pushed Krusty Krab to the limit, and you know, I think the match went down approximately as we expected. Percy doing his best to try to keep his team afloat, but the rest of Krusty Krab, especially Syath, having some insane KD right there. 35 and 11, sitting on 7 more than Vizzy, while also only having 1 more death than Blake. Just the 2 of them constantly alive, constantly creating pressure. And I don't have exact round-by-round breakdowns on this, but I'm fairly certain that at least half of Syath's deaths, I think, came in that first round, it felt like. Meaning that over the remaining 3 rounds, he went, you know, he performed even better, relatively speaking. So
that's insane. Yeah, I mean, he did get the 2nd most heals on his team, but I mean, when you've got a player with the raw aim of Syath, he did not squander his opportunities with the heals for Blake.
Definitely. I mean, having played with him a ton, I think it's, you know, worth noting that he has a much more vocal presence in a combo than a lot of other scouts do. But his aim is definitely good enough to justify, you know, the resources put into him, and I don't think you can really argue with how it turned out.
I remember I saw his scores in Kovac when I downloaded it, and I was looking. I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna touch those scores. I will never get close to the raw skill and aim that Syath has.
Yeah,
can't wait to see these clips and these logs linked in Mumble endlessly later.
Yeah, really, really not looking forward to that one, but wonderful. All we need is feeding that ego a little bit more, right?
All jokes
Well,
aside, Krusty Krab, it's a dominant performance. It's 5-1 in round score. They did have a couple close calls here and there, but definitely deserving of a top 2 spot, rematching MCM. Their entire roster looks definitely much better than we would have expected coming. Because of all the roster drama, we'd say that they definitely have been weaker in playoffs than they were in regular season. But I'd say this team has a chance against MCM. They did get 2-0 last week, although there was a again, it was a close 2-0 where you could have won rounds, you could have done better. And if Demento can keep up with Waterson like he sort of kept up with Percy today for the most part, then we will see them with a pretty good chance.
Well, I mean, any last thoughts before we wrap things up tonight from either of you?
I don't know. I'm liking. I like the way Demento plays Sniper, even if he does, maybe have some unnecessary deaths
It's budget
at times.
Waterson.
Yeah, I'd say so. It feels like a little bit more controlled too. Like it does feel like he's getting a very good feel of when he should be aggressive. Maybe he's indexing a little too far. He's being a little over aggressive, but like thinking about one, I think it was in that second round, there was an Uber that took place, and as Ray was backing up on like the far side of the point by the health shack, Demento has the kind of awareness to step out of bathhouse onto the enemy bats, go for that quick shot, get the med, and secure his team the Uber ad and allow that hold to maintain itself. And just like that kind of moment, right, is something that maybe it doesn't look like too much in the long run, but he consistently placed himself in positions to get high quality picks.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see. Like mentioned, like can he keep that kind of performance up, barreling into next week in a really tough matchup? Any last words from you, Zag?
I've said my piece already. I'm very excited for the rematch between these two teams. I've got friends on both teams, so definitely will be hearing about it between the two of them coming up to this last match of the season, this big winner takes all match. That said, are we doing the lower bracket system where even if
Yeah.
MCM loses, they have another try?
Yes, that's
There we
correct.
go.
So potential 2 best of 3s coming up if MCM can't secure it. Well, you guys mentioned
First we feed Science ego, now we give Waterson an entire BO3 to go for as many silly shots as he wants.
I can't believe he's gonna throw the entire first series just for cliffs.
he probably will. Well, you guys mentioned Syath's ego. I know Waterson's ego massive as well. So we'll see which player is going to cut the others down to size next week. But thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks guys for casting. Of course, thank you Dolphin. I wonder any other weird nicknames we can come up with before the cast ends. Just shout them out. But
Aquatic Enigma.
the aquatic enigma. I love it. But with that, I hope you'll join us in next week for the continuation of this season and potentially the finale, season 6 Highlanders. So with that, have a great night.